I'll be honest with you, I think he's got old sort of overnight. His last couple of performances have been sort of lacklustre. The back of my mandible had caved in, and my two back teeth had actually burst through my gum and were sitting underneath my tongue.
David Jamieson, I mean, you've had 12 fights, you've had 10 wins, 2 losses to the same person, but unfortunately in that last fight, you had a really bad break of your jaw, so the fight ended the way it is. So tell us about you. Tell us about where you train. Tell us about where you're from in the most English Scottish.
Yeah. Right, I'll try and slow everything down for everybody. Yeah, so no, I'm from a place just outside Glasgow called East Kilbride. And I train in a small town called Blantyre. The gym's called Priestfield Boxing Club. I've been boxing since I was 15, so I started pretty late, as opposed to everybody else. Had about 50, 60 amateur fights, reasonable amateur record. And I've been a pro for 5 years. You obviously mentioned my record there. And I'm boxing in 3 weeks' time in a British title eliminator against a man called Chef Clark.
Tell us about this broken jaw.
But it was just the strangest feeling. When it happened, I think it was the tail end of the 8th round, and the shot that landed, I knew right away something was wrong. And I think there was like 10 seconds to go in the round, so I just poker faced it, didn't show I was hurt. We exchanged jabs, I went back to my corner, and I knew right away something was wrong because the nature and the way the jaw had broken, the back of my mandible had caved in, and my two back teeth had actually burst through my gum and were sitting underneath my tongue. So my mouth was filling with blood. So people talk about what the fighters can do.
So these have gone down where? Underneath here, underneath your bottom.
My back two teeth, that's them and the roots. The roots of them had actually burst through the gum and came through the side and were underneath my tongue. So your teeth sit like that along here, and they'd burst through and went under. So it was massive discomfort in my mouth. Everybody talks about, brave face, can you continue on? I just went back to my corner, and obviously I couldn't really speak that well, but I just said to Jerry, my coach, Jerry Higgins, I just said, listen, we're finished. It's done.
Yeah. That's rough, mate. That is rough.
So, listen, you don't play boxing, we know that. It was, but the recovery, the surgeons and the doctors that I dealt with in the hospital couldn't have been better. I went into surgery the following morning. They fitted a titanium plate in my jaw, so that now stays there.
So you're basically Iron Man now?
That's it, aye.
Why you need to change your name from The Real Deal to The Terminator?
The Terminator. Came in with the red eye and the glasses, aye. The recovery was grim because it was right through Christmas. So it was, I get my jaw broken the last week in November, and then so it was, I'm going to get my Christmas dinner, but I managed to get my Christmas dinner. It took me about an hour to eat it, but I managed to get it. I managed to go into solid food by then.
So your next fight, am I right in thinking it's Shave on Clock?
That's it. That's the man.
Okay, so you've come off. I mean, you've lost, and then you arguably, and then you lost because you got your jaw broke, and now you've been put in against someone who's 5-0, 4 knockouts. Do you think they're maybe underestimating you a little bit here?
I reckon that I've said that in previous interviews. I think that's exactly why I've ended up getting this fight. Don't get me wrong. I think Chef Clark's got some miles on the clock as well. He came through the GB squad. That's a hard fight for a few years. So I think that's testament to why he's in a British title eliminator and he's in only 6th fight. I think there's a bit of wear and tear there, Dan, and they're looking to maybe fast track him. They've looked at me on that previous performance and thought, look, I'm just a tough, durable lad, But it's total underestimating.
Yeah, I feel he might be right there, to be fair. I mean, looking at the start of a fight, when you watch a fighter, I mean, how do you analyze a certain fighter to see what you're going to do against him? What's the process there?
And that maybe shoots your question down a bit. Obviously, as we go up the levels, you need to look at it more, but I've never watched tape. I don't. It's I let them worry about what I'm going to do, if you see what I mean. I trust my coach, Jerry Higgins. Trust Jerry, and I trust his knowledge. And Jerry, he does all the watching of the tape and comes up with the game plan. We're going to approach it. Don't get me wrong. For this, I'll watch. Like, I'll pick up daft things, just like, does he throw his jab from his hip? How does he throw his jab? I'll pick up what daft things like that. But I'll not watch a whole lot of tape. I don't buy into that, because say you go in there on the night and they come out with a totally different look.
This is definitely a turning point in your career against Siobhan Clark. It's a bit, never say big ask. I mean, maybe you're the underdog, I would have thought, on the day, considering his amateur background. Do you feel this is a must-win fight for you?
They're all must-win fights, Dan. That's, you know yourself, with snakes and ladders in boxing, especially when you've come up through the small house rule circuit. I'm not Anthony Joshua. I didn't turn professional off a gold medal and a big signing bonus and things like that. It's very much snakes and ladders. That's the analogy that I use for people that don't know. You need to keep winning, because, you know, every fight you win just gets you that wee bit up. But if you lose, it's snakes. It's right to the bottom. And at 31 now, I'm sort of pressing on. I've been boxing for 16, 17 years. Can you start again from the bottom? No.
I like it. Oh, that's honest. I like it. So let's talk about a fight that's going to be coming up against fellow Scotsman Josh Taylor against Teofimo Lopez.
Same night with myself.
One hell of a fight. It's almost gone under the radar, though, a bit. I'm not quite sure. And maybe one of them, because I know Teofimo. I don't know Josh Taylor, but I know Teofimo, and he's a great guy. But it's a great fight. I mean, I'm thinking, for me, I mean, I don't know who wins the fight. I mean, who do you think wins the fight?
It's a very interesting fight. Obviously, two exceptional fighters. I mean, Teofimo Lopez captured the imagination of just everybody a couple of years ago. He was doing stuff that Lomachenko done, it's totally revolutionised the game. But I'll be honest with you, I think he's got old sort of overnight. His last couple of performances have been sort of lacklustre. And my fellow countryman, obviously Josh Taylor, he's exceptional. I believe he's one of the sharpest fighters that I've seen. That sort of mid to long range boxing, and when he keeps you out in that range, I mean, there's nobody in the world as good as him. And I just believe, because he's young and hungry, and Teofimo's maybe, not that he's getting old, but he's maybe had that time in the limelight, and he's maybe on the slide a bit. I see Josh Taylor stopping him.
Okay. I disagree, you know. I don't do this often. I disagree. I think Teofimo's had a few demons. Teofimo is, I think I'm wrong, he's a friend, he's a good guy, but I'm not doing that for, I don't do that for
no.
Just like I would with you or anyone else. I think that Teofimo is going to show his class in this fight. And I think Teofimo is going to come out of his shell and show. I mean, that's my take on the fight. I think Teofimo is a fantastic fighter. Let's rewind a little bit to Jack Catterall against Josh Taylor. Why is he taking this fight against Teofimo when, in my opinion, he lost to Jack Catterall?
Right, well, a good question, Dan. And I think it's one that it's good for people watching. They're not massively sort of familiar with boxing. Every other sport in the world, football, rugby, American football, they're first and foremost, they're primarily a sport. Boxing isn't. Boxing's primarily a business. It tends to be about money. And yes, it's a passion, and us as fighters, we do it because we love it and we're chasing a dream. But listen, if one fight pays you X amount and the other fight pays you twice that amount, you go for the glory, go for the money. More often than not, fighters are going to go for the money. I believe that, yes, okay, the Catterall rematch and things like that, it sort of fizzled out. It lost a wee bit of weight. And listen, Madison Square Garden against a legend like Teofimo Lopez, in the short time he's been in the game, he's already established himself as a bit of a, he's going to be a legend, he's going to be a Hall of Famer sort of thing. that's the big fight, isn't it? It was a no-brainer. And
Let's attack you with a question then, David. Let's attack you with a question. Taylor, Catterall, who do you think won?
The first one?
Yeah.
I was actually there. I was there. I wasn't in the good seats. I was too far enough away from the ring. But when I watched it back the next day, you could definitely have said Catterall would have won it.
So you must understand the distaste, the foul taste in Catterall's mouth. The fact that he's been completely ignored when, in my opinion, I thought he got robbed.
Yeah, no, definitely.
At the same time, respect to Taylor, just to be clear, respect to Taylor. Okay. I was there ringside when he fought Pro Grace. I was there next to the Sauerland, sitting there, and I've shouted him on when he won the Muhammad Ali Trophy at the O2 Arena. So don't think for a second that I don't support this guy. He's a Brit.
No.
He's a legend. I think he is right up there. But he was bested that night. Unfortunately, he was bested that night.
I totally agree with you, Dan. I mean, listen, it's boxing. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. It's somebody's got to be second place. And the fights that you just referred to there with Josh Taylor, I mean, Josh in that fight with Catterall was far from the Josh Taylor that you saw in the fights that you just referred to there. You hear fighters say it all the time, like, he couldn't get off. It was like his feet wasn't there, his head wasn't quite there. He just couldn't quite get his shots off. And see, to be honest, Jack Catterall really surprised me defensively. He was really quite slick. He was shoulder rolling, that sort of Floyd Mayweather. Very, very impressive.
The opposite of what us Brits are taught. That's it. To be fair, you know what I'm saying.
Look at my nose. We block punches with our face, don't we? But that's the deal. He was very, very polished. I didn't see it in the arena on the night, but when I watched it back in the television the following day, and I could see all the wee intricacies, he was very, very clever inside. His mid-range inside work. He was very, very impressive. Listen, I mean, being a fighter myself, and I've been in the broad end of some serious decisions in the amateurs years ago. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And I heard like a story that Jack Catterall had to go back on the tools after that fight. He'd chucked his job to train full time. That was his big shot. That was going to take him year to year.
And you can understand why he was upset, though, can't you? Do you know what I mean? I mean, for me, he did win the fight, and I've been there, bro. I've actually been there. I know the way he feels. I actually, and not, people say, I know the way you feel. No, I know the way he feels. Like, this might sound stupid because, boxing's my life. But I was also a singer, and me and my wife sang on TV. And so I don't know if you ever knew this. Do you ever know this? Because people I don't talk about it. But
no, we need to talk about
it. I don't. Yeah, boxing's my life, boxing. But me and my wife sang on X Factor, and we went on to X Factor, and we got onto the. I've said this a few times, but for people who've never watched, and we got to past Wembley, and we got picked by Robbie Williams, and we got to the 6-chair challenge. We won a chair on the 6-chair challenge a couple of years ago, just before COVID, and I went from signing autographs at the Wembley Stadium at 11 o'clock that night, 12 o'clock at the night, 1 o'clock at the night, to going to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and walking past people who didn't even know who I am. And I went from there to boom, mate. I swear it was so bipolar. It messed with my head. So can you imagine being Jack Catterall?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
Pound for pound champion, and then getting robbed, and then go back on the tools. I get it. I get it.
That as well. Something like somebody stealing something from you, somebody taking something away that's yours. But imagine somebody taking something from you on that stage. The world was watching.
His entire life, his entire career.
Yeah. No, it's a tough one. A very, very tough one to take.